and welcome to session 35 of Primordial Harmony, a retelling of the Elemental Evil story and the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse. My name is Mike, and I'm your DM and host, and tonight I'm joined by...
I'm Nyx, and I'm going to play a Wood Elf Ranger named Delaria, who's got her Panther Valora.
I am Senna, and I play Delia, the Gnome Whisperer.
Hi, I'm Kitties, and I play the Righteous Gnome Bard, Hum.
Hello, Joy and other internet people. My name is Miles. I'm playing Tadias, an Aasimar Seeker.
And I am Justin. I play Zachary Vital, Fire Genasi, Shovel Knight.
When we last left the Excavators, seeing the plumes of smoke rising from Forstride, Hum made no delay in hurrying toward the city proper, the visions of Twiddles and Fiddles burning, racing through her mind. Upon arrival, a militiaman informed the party that these fires sprang up within minutes of each other. Their first stop was Simple Heat, where apparently things were somewhat under control thanks to a device produced by clear currents, effectively a fire extinguisher. Taking one of the fire dousers with them, the group ran to the southern fire near the student flats surrounding Aldak's Academy of Arcane Arts. Two trees ablaze, shedding embers that threatened to spread the fire further. With Hum rousing onlookers into action as well as strong hands lent by the rest of the party, the fires only burned down a couple more buildings. That matter concluded, Hum rushed to Twiddles and Fiddles to check on Gizo, who, of course, was fine, along with Tadias' family at Poor Decisions. Then the party made their way to Zachriel's house on the western outskirts of Forstride. Florian had been busy, having encountered on one of the apparent arsonists who attempted to sleaze his way into her pants, but blasted lightning through his chest, as well as helping militiamen to apprehend several more. Unfortunately, none of them could be captured alive, but there was a new symbol found on their armor, one that nearly matched the symbol born by the bard that Gizo informed Hum about a few days prior. But no real action could be taken then, as the day was over, the moon rising. Zachariel invited all of his companions to dinner. All but Illyria joined as she was spending time alone, reflecting, or wallowing in grief over her brother. After a night of merrymaking, our heroes retired for the night in their own homes throughout the city. That morning, Illyria got an early start, making arrangements and buying a horse and cart to carry her brother to the edge of the Conadir forest. Meanwhile, Zachariel professed to his wife that after helping Illyria bury her brother, he would return home for good. Eventually, the party met up at the Temple District. Illyria would learn that Tadias was testing a new air elemental device, a cart that used currents of wind to lift it off the ground in a continuous hover. Perfect to bring Altosi's casket into the undergrowth of the forest. As they placed the casket onto the cart, Carahil, the tiefling woman who used to travel with them, shout out to Brittany, approached quickly, upset and worried. Her friend Earthwar, who had worked at Simple Heat, had seemed to go missing. She pled with the party to be on the lookout for him, as he was approached by individuals wearing the same dark armor as the arsonists a few days ago. After calming Carahil, the party set off westward toward Tomerer, the settlement closest to the Condir forest. As they left Forstride, an air genasi fellow asked to travel with them, a man named Kine. As it happened, he was a cook in the castle from Zachriel's old life of nobility. A few hours outside of Forstride, the party was beset upon by three full-fledged water elementals, corrupted with negative energy. Two of them focused their violence toward Kine. Once the creatures were dispatched, after a misplaced fireball seared an invisible Kine, Zachariel had but one question for him.
Why is the crushing wave after you, Kai?
We return to that very scene. Hum and Delia and Zachariel crowding around Kine as Illyria, a mental strain relating to her grief, overtaking her behind the cart. We'll deal with... I just want to change the music. A little windy today. Kine looks at Zachriel, his eyes betraying a sense of exasperation. Okay, look, I fell into those cultist fucks' hands about 2 months ago. I was working a dead-end job as a cook at one of the taverns in Forstride. They recruited me, saying there was more to life than cooking meals over and over. I was in a bad place, so I joined up. They sent me down to Afon, where they made me do some horrid things, and it only got worse. Mostly stealing, mugging. They took a real interest in my powers. But the last straw was when they wanted me to hurt a defenseless kid. I burned out their eyes as much as I could, and turned the kid invisible and told him to run. Then I ran, away from Afon and back to Forstride. A few days ago, they found me. That's why I'm heading to Tomerer. Maybe there I can work as a logger, keep my head down, and live off hard labor. And he starts to sort of trail off.
If they found you once, what makes you so sure they're not going to find you in Tamara?
He says, I don't know, but I haven't been there yet, and I don't know if they're there. It's better than just staying put.
So you want to go somewhere else and put other people's lives in danger, Kai?
He narrows his eyes a bit, shakes his head, says, no, how would I be putting other people's lives in danger?
Well, if they're looking for you, I'm sure they won't give up. Especially if you leave a trail as sloppy as burning out someone's eyes.
Well, I mean, all I really did was throw hot steam at them and then ran. I don't know if it burned them or not.
There's one thing I've learned about these cultists that we've been encountering across the land, is that they don't give up easily. You should have killed them.
He says, there are more there than I could handle on my own. Otherwise, I probably would have.
Well, from what we've seen of the crushing wave, they usually only travel around where there's, a crushing wave. Chances are you may be safe inland, but we don't know if these groups orchestrate together or not.
Groups?
Well, there's a few different ones.
Well, he looks to the west. He says, I mean, it's better than just staying put and waiting for them to jump me.
This is true.
He rubs the back of his head and he says, I'm sorry that you got involved. I didn't think. He, gestures to the puddle of water beneath him. That would happen.
Oh, we have been involved, so there's a good chance they could have been coming after us just as easily as you.
You know,
True enough.
alright. He kind of shakes himself off and he says, should we keep going? You look
Probably
up
be for the best.
You look up and you can see the sun is starting to wane in the sky. You got a late start, so it's about 3 in the afternoon. About 11 miles out of Forstride.
Hum kind of grabs his leg and casts Cure Wounds.
Oh, thank you.
I am so sorry for that fireball. I had no idea you were there.
He smiles and he says, oh, that shows what I should have informed you of my abilities before we set off. I don't usually talk about them.
Well, everybody's good at something.
So, you guys head back over to the cart. And you find that Clyde, the horse, that Illyria purchased at the horse trader in Forest Stride, he kind of pull on his reins and doesn't budge.
Is something wrong with the horse?
Is the horse still standing?
Yeah, it's still standing. Looking closer, you can see the Clyde's eyes are wide, and he seems to be quivering a little bit.
I guess I go calm him down.
Okay. Roll animal handling.
It's a well-handled animal.
Well-handled animal. So you start calming him down, and this you're expert at it. At this point, Illyria must have had a lot of training with, or a lot of time, a lot of equestrian experience in her old noble days. However, it seems to take quite a while to get Clyde calm, but there's a couple of times where you sort of where Illyria sort of recognizes that she is almost about to make sort of the wrong move, and she stays back, and she gets kind of flashbacks to trying to calm down a scared horse and not succeeding in the horse bolting. But it seems that this only takes about, well, not only, but it could have been, she recognizes that it could have been a lot worse, as it takes about 2 hours to calm him down enough to actually take a step, and then another step, and another step. And you see that the sun is starting to sink, and you all sort of understand that you only have about an hour of daylight left. Oh my god, please load for me. Cool.
Well, do we make camp tonight and then start again tomorrow?
You're about 18 miles out. And, go on.
Oh, it seems like Clyde is in favor of that.
Yeah, I wish we had some oats or something for it.
So you,
Oh, I did bring some food for the horse.
Do you think we should tiny hut tonight?
We can fit everyone inside, I think.
except
Perhaps
for,
not the cart.
yeah, the cart would have to be outside. So you definitely, like,
How do you feel about that, Illyria?
you could probably fit the casket inside.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can probably fit the casket in.
In addition, you do get a couple more miles under your feet. At least 8 more. So you make it to about, you make it to about here before the sun really starts to set.
Well, I will start casting the tiny hut then.
You do that. What color is it? And where do you cast it?
Probably like just off the road in a dark color.
Okay.
Like dark green or dark blue.
Okay. So the next morning comes, the night passes without incident. Wildlife is particularly loud that evening, but other than that, it's nothing substantial like it was back on the coast. And you all sort of set up and get moving again.
Hum's curious, so while they're eating breakfast, she asks questions of Kine. How do you fall in with the cultists group?
He says, well, it's like I said, I was on hard times and nothing seemed to be working out for me, and they're very charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kine should tell us a little bit more about what he knows about Zachariel.
Do you ask him?
Yes.
He looks over to Zachariel and he says, well, I remember Zachariel from when he was a teenager. He was, how was Zachariel as a teenager? Justin?
You know.
Wasn't expecting this question. I need to refresh myself now. Yeah, okay. Sure. Kine says, Zachariel was very, he didn't actually say much. He was very much, I don't want to say under control, but his father had a program for him. He had a purpose for him that he inflicted on Zachariel, and Zachariel didn't seem to make much conversation other than when he was well into his 20s. Looks over at you, Zachariel.
I just kind of furrow my brow and try to avoid it.
He says, we didn't have that much interaction, other than in passing, and even then. I only recognize him as I do because, well, his father was my employer.
I see.
It's hard to mistake Zachariel for anything else than himself. Could recognize him from 5 streets away.
Well, the hair.
The attitude, the voice, the yelling. The slaughtering of anyone related to a cult, usually.
Kine gets kind of a smile on his face.
Of course you would notice me from 5 blocks away, because I'd be way ahead of you.
Generally how it occurs. Now, when you were under the thumb of this crashing wave, what cities did you operate out of?
As like I said, in Afon. It's south of Tomerer, down the river.
It's problematic for me, because of all the cults we found, they seem to be everywhere. Rolled for Stride or Burrow. Why do you think Tomerer will be different?
He says, well, I haven't been there before, and if I see sign of them, I'll move on. Or if they're only send maybe 1 or 2 folks, I could probably take care of them, but it's a risk. It's a calculated risk. And then he kind of like, you see him stick his tongue out when he says that, and he kind of shakes his head, as if disgusted with himself for saying that.
You know, I'm sure the militia could use a cook. Be well protected inside the barrack.
You mean back in Forstride?
Yeah, or you could even be a way shield cook, and there's not many of us around very often, but I'm sure Gordon could use a good meal every day.
He says, I'll consider it. I did... He says I did sort of psych myself up for life as a lumberjack.
I see. Well, I hope you're used to orcs.
He shrugs and he says, I feel like I can handle orcs.
Right. On the run from a couple of men throwing water and using sharp swords. But you can handle some orcs. We'll see.
He says, yes, we will. He looks pretty confident that... He looks very convinced that orcs are less of a threat than those mages and etc. that you know of. Maxed out on charges.
Woot!
Anything else you guys want to do as you're making your way to town, to Tomerer?
Not especially.
Okay. So you guys make your way to Tomerer. Clyde is much more calm and seems to be his normal self, as you've seen for at least a half of a day. And you arrive at Tomerer. In the distance, approaching it, you can see the palisade. Unlike that of Orboro, this palisade is composed of wooden stakes. As you draw near, you notice that they look well maintained and have a glossy finish. Approaching, you see a town guard armed with a halberd and a short sword. He gives a polite nod as you pass through the city gate. As you pass him, you see a stone building to your immediate left, a wooden bulletin board with a few bills plastered or nailed to it. One in particular catches your eye. The words, Bright-Eyed Bard of Burning Bops.
Mm-hmm.
You just see this out of the corner of your eye. Do you react?
I go over and investigate.
Says, other than that, travelers and wood caravans, if you haven't yet, come see Lacia Candlecord at the fort. Shows are nightly through Kitethorn 12.
Hum pulls the handle off the bulletin board.
Okay. You just pull it off?
I do.
The guard says, he says, do you need to know where the fort is? He says, are you as jazzed about her as the rest of us? He gets like a smile on his face. His eyes are bright-eyed.
Yeah, jazzed is the word I was thinking.
What's jazz?
He says, it's some phrase I heard a long time ago from some bard from Forstride. But anyway,
Interesting.
He points down the way, and like you can see it from here. And to describe what you see a little bit better, to your left, beyond the building that the guard was in front of, which appears to be a guard station, there's a field of grain behind a stone fence. And looking to the right, there is a wooden structure that is dressed or reinforced with what appears to be stone bricks. Zachariel, you recognize this as the Wayshield Station for Tomerer. Towering behind that is a tower with a pointed roof, the whole structure seemingly made from the same stone bricks. Back on the right side of the road, on that right side of the road, there are various wooden buildings and structures. Sweeping your vision to the left, behind the field of grain, you see a large stone keep, and some yards away is a large barn. And I'll bring you to the map now.
Do I know who's in charge of the station?
You know that it's a rotation.
Okay.
And memory doesn't serve for who's on who is on the administrative duties there right now, but you know that it's well, from the last time you were there, it's a well-kept extension of the Wayshields.
All right.
I'll take you to the map now.
So, Hum actually looks at the garden and says, "Where can I find this?"
Find what?
The fort where she's playing.
So he points to the right side of you, and I need to drag your tokens there. So stand by for like 30 seconds. Why is Delia's tokens so huge? Okay.
Because I'm large and in charge.
I was gonna say, have you met Delia?
She's a very big gnome. Different breed. Large size.
Different subrace.
Can we make a subrace where there's a giant gnome?
You guys got a long rest, by the way, so...
Oh, man.
Okay.
I think we should go and ring those chimes in that bard's face.
Why would you do this? As I pinch like the little part between my nose and my eyes.
Well, I don't know about ringing the charms, but I might try to use my own charm on.
So you, he points over these buildings, and you see another wooden palisade that sort of goes way up. He says, behind that palisade there, that's the fort. It's a tavern. It's got an inn underneath it.
Thank you so much, sir.
He says, "Oh, no problem," and then he goes to look back at the road leading in. So what do you do?
You know we have to talk to her, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think we should... Well... Should we try to figure out if she still has connections to the cult before we, get too aggressive?
I was thinking that we just go see her play.
What do you want to throw rotten vegetables and boo?
Only if they're tomatoes.
Jeez, your faith in me.
You're a very scary person, Hum. I can't imagine you're just going to watch her play.
It's sizing up competition. I mean, perhaps she doesn't think she's as good as they say.
Perhaps there's some trick to how good she is.
That is also possible.
I just want to see the marking on her chest.
Oh, you're looking for a more intimate view.
Man. And I slap my forehead. I want to see if she's a cultist.
We already know one person that was part of a cult that regrets that decision. That's the reason she couldn't be as well. But let's see the show. We'll figure out what to do after that. Deal?
I'm with that.
Alright, let's go look at this woman's chest.
So where do you go?
Let's go to the fort.
Okay, so you guys start walking there. As you go down the lane, and you look to your right, and you see another cart path off, leading to some more stone buildings. Out of this one, you can see smoke rising from the chimney, and it's like thick black smoke, and you kind of get the idea that it's probably a smithy. These are various establishments you walk by. When you pass by this one, you kind of glance in, and you can tell that it's sort of a shrine. And looking over this way, because you can see it from where you are, you see another palisade, and as you get... Actually, just as you leave the guard, Kine asks him, "Hey, can you tell me where to go if I want to look for logging work?" The guard says, "Oh, sure." And he points to way down the road, and he says, "Go down about." He says, "Go down the road, third right, And then you'll see a big another palisade, and he kind of chuckles a bit. He says, "That's where the logging company has its main house, and then the sawmill." And kind of says, "Oh, thanks." And
so as we're walking, I lean over to Delia and I say, "We totally are ringing the chimes in this bitch's face."
Yes.
all right. So you guys, as you get to hear, Kyan actually says, "Well, thanks for the escort, I think, and perhaps I'll see you tonight, if I'm allowed to say. I don't, I need to get my feet wet first. I mean,
Well, enjoy your new life as a logger. We'll go for orcs.
will do." He starts walking down this way, and walks that way, out of sight.
Hey,
Bye.
kind.
Huh?
Quickly, I'm gonna walk up to him and kind of hand him a little slip of paper that I'm gonna write, essentially where to mail me a letter if he needs help. It's gonna be the tavern.
Poor
And I'm gonna hand
decisions.
it to him. Yeah, I'm gonna hand it to him and say, "Remember, we are in the thick of this. If you hear anything or if you need help, write me.
He nods and he says, "Will do. Thank you."
I hope I never hear from you again. Have a good life."
He,
Hum says, "Enjoy swinging big axes."
you
First chest, now asses. Great.
he walks over. So going
He likes
to
big axes, and he cannot lie.
So, time of day. It is actually pretty early in the day. Like, it's barely 11 o'clock. So, you see people walking up and down this way mostly. You see a couple of people actually tilling the fields out here. And people going about their day. You get to the fort. When you get there, you see that the structure is sort of lofted off of the ground. And looking under it, you can see a stone sort of support that looks like, or it's lofted off the ground with these stone supports, and then in not the center, but sort of underneath it, offset sort of, is another one that seems very large, like about 10 feet wide. Actually, more like 15 feet wide. And it has like a porch, a very nice looking porch and a veranda.
Interesting architecture. I like it.
It's a
So
We may be a little early for this show. Perhaps we should ask around town. Perhaps go to the tavern, see what the forest is like this time of year.
Yes, hunters or people traveling from that area, they can give us information, know what we're looking out for.
A tavern is always a good place to start.
So you're going to go to the fort anyway, because it's the tavern.
It's the tavern.
Alright,
Oh, yeah.
so walking in.
Yeah, it's a tavern called Fort with an inn under it. It's everything. It's like a switchblade of surfaces.
The Swiss Army knife of taverns.
Yeah, that's it.
So walking in, it is pretty empty in here, actually. And it's pretty empty because it is the middle of the day. There is one individual sitting at the bar, one individual behind the bar who is cleaning a glass. The individual sitting at the bar doesn't look like he's an alcoholic or anything. He's not in his cups. He's just sort of sitting there with his chin on his hand. It looks like he's just making conversation with the bartender. The interior of this place, as you enter, the bar itself is actually perpendicular to the wall you entered from, if that makes sense. And you see at the opposite end of the room a huge stage, about 30 feet long, with a red curtain. What do you do?
Hey, Tobias, you want a drink?
No, I thought about cutting back. No, of course I want a drink.
You walk up to the bar, and the bartender is regular human with looks to be in his late 30s, and he's got a bit of a bald spot on the top of his head, and he's polishing a glass, and he says, welcome to the fort. Show isn't until after sundown, but can I get you a drink?
What do you have?
I thought you would never ask.
He says, well, you had to come close to the bar first. I mean, maybe... He like smile. He gives you a wry smile. Says, "Maybe you're just peeking your head in. I didn't want to presume." And he says, "We've got. Oh, that's just the kitchen firing up. Don't worry about that." He says, "Well, we've got some strong ale. We've got an elven spirit that I actually got imported in recently. I'm pretty happy about that. We have a special." A milk stout that one of my barmaids has brewed a recipe for. What do you have?
I'd like to try the elven spirit.
I was thinking the same. I agree with Delia.
I'm going for the milk stout.
And the gentleman at the bar just kind of like looks and he's day drinkers.
That's us.
What?
And then, like, when you say that deal, he just shrugs, puts his hands on the bar. And the bartender says, "Oh, don't mind him. He just likes to hang out here on his off days. He doesn't even drink during the day."
Well, we were told we'd probably want to have a drink before going into the forest.
Says, "The forest? Like, in the forest? Like,
Yeah,
beyond the logger farms?"
Yeah, all the way in.
That is accurate.
Why?
Personal reasons.
Trees. And then he kind of like, there's trees right out back.
Sounds good. Now can we get the drink?
Yeah. And then he starts pouring glasses. He says, all together, that'll be just a gold.
I hand him a gold.
Pours the two orders of the spirit into these smaller glass cups, and then the milk stout into a larger one. Standard bar fare.
Perfect. Now you sounded like you knew something about the deeper woods. Is there something we should know since we're going that way?
They're dangerous. Everyone knows that.
Much, but why?
Orcs and getting lost, and he starts like he starts counting fingers, and he says, "Those strange, flashy monsters I've heard about." And
strange, flashy monsters.
He says, "There was a rumor."
It's inside joke. Don't mind her. But
he says, "No, it's just the rumor that went around a few years back from one of the loggers who got lost and managed to make it back in the morning." He said when he was trying to find his way through the woods at night, there was this creature that was like a ball of light. He turned the other way, and I think that's why he's still alive.
Disco ball monster.
Yeah, what kind of check would I make to identify these?
Arcana.
Arcana. I do not know them.
It doesn't sound like, the way he's phrasing it doesn't ring a bell to you.
Well, orcs and getting lost aren't going to be a problem for us. I don't know about any flashing ball creatures.
He shrugs, and then he nudges your glasses toward you.
Oh, yes. I grab my elvish drink of fanciness.
Do you have any, just regular ale?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
That'll be 5 copper.
You know what? I'll take 2.
A silver. And he grabs 2 flagons and pours ale into both.
What happened to Illyria?
Where is Illyria?
I'm in the back just sitting down, just watching everything going on.
Okay. Right next to the door, there's like this long table that's lined with chairs, and then further closer to the stage, there's round tables that are all sort of arranged in 2 rows with seats all around them, just to give you a better idea. He looks at the dice and he, gestures to Illyria and says, "She all right?"
She's not going to be all right until we get some things done, but we're trying to give her space. She needs it.
Gotcha. He
Maybe
says,
the festivities tonight will improve her spirits. I heard there is some bard appearing.
his eyes just widen and brighten up, and he says, "Oh, Lycia's brought so many customers in, more than I've ever seen. And day after day they come in and they listen to her pieces and buy ale. It's great."
Almost magical.
Sounds fantastic.
Well, isn't that amazing? Isn't that wonderful?
What kind of show does she put on?
He says, give me a minute. Says she plays what do you call it? Stringed instruments. It's got a viol. She plays a viol, and she gets up on stage and plays nonstop for about a half hour. Takes a 5-minute break, plays again for another half hour, and everyone is so excited afterwards that they stay and they talk and they buy more ale. He gets a big smile on his face again.
You said there was another guy in here too.
Yeah, there's just a guy. There's another gentleman. Just he's got his elbow on the bar and he's just he's just chilling.
I'm gonna go sit next to him and I'm gonna lay one of my drinks on the side. See if you.
He says, "Oh, for me?"
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you, kind flaming sir. Fire Genasi?
Oh, you know of us.
Well, I know of Genasi. I've came here from Port Stride about what is it, like 3 years now. Takes the ale and just takes a small sip.
No, I'm from Forstrad, actually.
Nods and says, "It's sold pretty likely around these parts."
Yeah. What do you do here, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm a logger. It's my day off.
Oh, yeah. Any information you could tell me about the forest this time of year? I know you guys don't tend to go in too deep alone.
No, not too deep. Nothing more than 10 miles in. We've got a rotation of spaces that are we let follow and then grow and then we cut down and then that process goes on over and over again. This time of year, well, it's getting to be summer. Orcs like to get more active during the summer, so a few of them get close to our tree farms, but anything other than that, not in particular.
You never heard of these weird floating ball creatures?
He chuckles. He says, "You know, that was a while back. I think he was just seeing things. I know the guy. He was dehydrated and he was lost. Makes sense to hallucinate."
Of course, you know, fear sets in, panic.
That's right.
You're worried you can end up as the next skin on an orc tent?
He says, that's a risk that I've known for a long time. Doesn't bother me that much.
Now, I don't have much dealing with these orcs. Is it true they're just savages? They don't try to communicate, they just attack?
Every time they get close, it's always with violence. I don't know why. I haven't tried to communicate with them. They haven't tried to communicate with me or any of my other work buddies.
You wouldn't happen to know if there's anyone around town, maybe a hunter, perhaps, that would know the ins and outs of the forest where we could avoid their...
Perhaps a guide?
He says, you know, I do know someone like that, but he's a little bit, impersonable.
Sounds like my type.
He says, and he's not... He knows the forest, but he's made it clear to me, at least, that he chooses not to foray in there. He likes to... He points, like, toward the part where you enter town, but north a bit, and he says he lives in that tower over there.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure, like most men, he can be turned by this chance of...
Say that again?
Said, like most men, I'm sure he can be turned with the chance... Like he will do something for coin.
Ah, okay. He shrugs and says, well, maybe he's a bitter fuck. I think he looks at Delia and Hum. Yeah, man, Force Rides. It's been a while since I've been in Force Ride, and he points between Healy and Delia and Hum, and says, he's a gnome. He's a grumpy old fuck.
A gnome, huh?
Grumpy old gnomes sound like our deal. Delia.
I agree. I think our charms will be able to persuade him.
He says,
Yep.
good luck. He likes to tinker more than travel, from what I hear.
Oh, thank you for the conversation and the information. Why don't I buy you another drink?
He says, don't worry about it. I'll nurse this one. I don't like to get too buzzed during the day. I save it during the night, and then I sleep it off.
I see, but it is a day of. You should enjoy the...
He says, I enjoy the space of the bar before it gets crowded at night.
Have you seen this woman perform?
Oh, yeah. And he's also smiling about it, and he says, something is just... She's the first musician to really stick around. He points to the stage. He says, Condrit here, and he points to the barkeep. He says, built that stage about a decade ago for individual that would perform here, and they passed away, sadly. Nothing crazy. They were getting on in years. But he's been pretty upset that it hasn't seen as much action as it is now. Or then.
What if I told you there was a famous musician in this tavern, right?
Well, besides Lucia?
Oh, she's here, is she?
Kecker pipes in and says, she likes to practice down below in the inn. And he gestures to something that you've noticed already, but I didn't draw attention to. There's a giant hatch door in the middle of the floor. And looking at it, you sort of understand that it's right where you saw that larger stone support underneath the building.
Does she entertain guests, or is she more of a private?
He says, oh, she's very private. But
it's a shame, Home. I guess you'll have the word to get your autograph later.
The conduit puts down another elven spirit next to Todias. He says, I saw you drink that pretty quickly. This one's on the house.
You know how to keep a customer.
What do you do?
Delia's gonna go over to the curtains and peek behind us.
Keckert says, don't spend too much time back there. I can't see you from here. So, when you get onto the stage, it's got like these stairs. You hop up there and you peek behind the curtain. And it looks like it's where you can get sort of ready. There's a mirror on top of a table. And strewn about it is a bunch of what looks like costumes on racks.
Anything sparkly?
Roll perception.
Mike, when he says that, I'll just look at him and say, don't worry about her, she's with me, and point to
Point to your what?
my badge, my brown.
Delia doesn't see anything that really sticks out to her.
Dang it. Alright.
And
Just wanted to see what was back there.
Condrit says, he says, he looks at your badge and he says, oh, you're high ranked in the way shields, I think. That's what that means, right?
That is correct. Getting close to veteran.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
He says, he looks at you all and then he kind of looks at Hum, who, does Hum keep her loot on her person? Like visible? Or is it like buried in her pack?
It's hanging on her back.
Says, I think you were implying someone other than Lycia when you said famous musician. He points to Hum. Are they talking about you? Good gnome?
I play a little.
He says, well, play a few bars. I want to hear you.
Okay, Hum takes her flute off her back and starts playing.
Roll performance. Says, hey, that's not bad. He says, maybe you'd like to join in the show tonight.
Well, I wouldn't want to hurt Lucia's feelings.
Nah, I'll give her a chat. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to.
Oh, you can
says-
have like a battle to see who's the better player.
Are you talking about the musical duel?
Oh, that sounds interesting to me. I'd pay top dollar to see something like that.
I have to admit, Zachriel does have an idea here.
I think I could be persuaded.
He says, you know, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. It'll be a sudden event. It'll really razz up everyone here, and maybe I'll get more customers.
And really keep the taps flowing.
Exactly. He says, I'll broach the subject to her a little bit later. And as you look down the bar and you see like a mountain of, well, not a mountain, but a decent amount of unwashed dishes.
Just say Luza has to clean the dishes?
No, that's my job. He goes over there,
okay.
and he picks up another one, and he starts to get to work, wiping it down. What do you guys do?
Should we go pay the gnome a visit?
We have some time?
Let's do it.
Alright.
Alright, so you guys head out from the bar, and head over to this
Before
tower.
I leave, I say, is there a place where we could park our cart?
He says, oh, I've got a small shed in the back. You could certainly tie her up there if you want. What are you going to do with the casket on top of the air cart?
I ask, do you have a large room?
He says, I got plenty of rooms.
Would you mind if we stowed some of our stuff there?
We'll rent the room.
We'll pay.
Then not a problem. It's silver a night to stay.
I hand him over a silver.
Thank you kindly. And he reaches
And
under the
then I
bar.
throw a gold piece at him.
If you want the best customers I've had in a long time, here's your key. Hands it to you.
Is that all right with you, Illyria?
Yes, that's fine.
All right. So you head down. He walks over and he opens the hatch door and it creaks. Sounds like it needed to be oiled. And there's a spiral stair leading down. Not into darkness. There is torchlight down there. So you proceed down and proceed down. And this structure, as you proceed down in it, Tadias pings in your head that this isn't human masonry. This looks very old.
Almost blackish.
What?
We
I
can't
can't
see the map.
say anything.
Oh, I haven't brought you there. I'm just describing the place. And also the map doesn't exactly match what I had in mind. But it might be relevant later. This place looks old, like it looks like an ancient structure. And sort of looking around it, like it looks like it's been well kept, but the stonework, he as an archaeologist recognizes it as Dwarven. There's some rubble here and there that look like it's sort of a room that's been purposefully collapsed, maybe due to an instability that was found out many years ago. But as you go through these, as you go through 2 rooms, you see, as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you go up, and then there's a room to your right, and then you go in and you see a table with chairs, like as if it's a common room, and there's a ledge with 2 stairs leading up to it, and then to your right there's a room that looks like it's closed. Like a door, it's a wooden door. It doesn't match what's the stonework here. It looks like this was installed a while ago, as opposed to when this place was built. And then you look at the key. There's a number on it, and you find the door, and it's up these stairs, which is only like about 5 feet up. And in this sort of hallway where there look to be 6 rooms, and you turn the key, and there's a room with 5 beds and plenty of space. And surprisingly, the air down here is fresh. Like, it doesn't seem like it's like the only. It seems like fresh air gets down here. You're not exactly sure how.
So everyone's got their stuff in the room that wants their stuff in the room?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go back upstairs and talk to the bartender real quick about the masonry.
Sure.
So when I get back up to the bar, I'm going to be like, excuse me, you said you built this stage yourself. Did you build the entire tavern?
He says, oh, no. I used to work here as a bar wench. He gives you a wink. And then he says, worked my way up, and the owner handed it over when he was in his later years. He has passed away about 2 years back. But I didn't build this place, and if you're talking about downstairs, that was here before the tavern, the wood part, was built.
Yes, I discerned that. I was curious if you knew of any other places that might have similar structures.
He says, oh, the keep in the middle of town, That keep has been here before the town.
There's no other structures like this in the woods, though, correct?
He says, I don't know. I haven't been that far into the woods.
Well, thank you. That ends my query.
Not a problem.
I sit back down, get back to drinking whatever was left.
you quaff what's left. Alright, Tadias, make a con check, because you just had 2 spirits.
Please. Yeah. What you want? Bam! Yeah.
Alright, you're poisoned.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
You don't look fine, Tadias.
What? No, I'm perfectly good. I was talking to my friend, and we don't have to worry about running into any temples again, so I'm happy about that. Is it warm today? It's warm today.
I think you should have another. Hair of the dog.
Sounds good. Can I get another, please?
He looks down at Tadias, because Tadias is sitting at the bar, yeah?
Yeah.
Looks to hum. I think you might have had enough. Why don't you pace yourself for tonight? Then he kind of looks back and he mumbles something, and Illyria can hear him say, I kind of regret giving him that other one.
Sounds no fun.
You look like you're having plenty of fun there, Tadias.
I could have more, maybe. We'll find out. But what are we doing to do anything else before we wait for the woman's chest to appear for you to beat it into submission?
We were going to go see a grumpy old gnome.
Oh, grumpy old gnome. Perfect. That is exactly what I wanted to do today. I push my stool out and I start, staggering my way towards the door.
You guys, Tadias staggers out as the rest of you calmly walk out and make your way across town to this tower. It's about, it's not really that much of a tower. It's about maybe 2.5 stories. Maybe about the same height as Aldak's Academy. And approaching it, it looks like when you get closer and you inspect the stone bricks, they look like that, they look like they're a bunch of rocks pressed together with smaller rocks.
Well, that's
Quite
charming.
the tower.
And there's a door that's made of oak. Looks oaken, reinforced with metal.
Hum walks up and knocks on the door.
A minute passes and you don't get an answer.
She knocks again.
A slot that you didn't see before shows up right at Hum's eye level. Closes. Goes. Another one opens about Zachriel's eye level. What do you want?
To give you gold.
What?
Wish to hire you.
What? Is this another project?
No, we're going into the woods.
Why the fuck do you want to go in the woods?
It's a long story.
He says, look, I'm not doing much.
So, why don't you just open the door? We'll have a small conversation. If you don't feel up to it, we won't pester you.
Does anybody say anything else?
Probably best if I don't.
Hum gives him a toothy grin.
Okay. Because you're a gnome, Zachriel, roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He opens the door. He says, go ahead and come in. And he leads you into this first story of this tower, which is Looks like it's just a normal living area. It's got a sofa, table. Looks like there's a kitchen in the back with a stovepipe that goes up and up and up and through the ceiling.
Thank you for having us on this day. My name is Zachary.
When you say, like, having us on this day, he says, where did you even hear? Well, you all aren't even from here.
No, we're from Fourth Stride.
Well, my name's Londuck Bulwarker. Looks to the rest of the party.
I'm gonna need you to write that one down.
Absolutely, give me a second.
It sounded like you said lawn duck.
Londuck. Here, hold on. And, to Humandelia, it's a little curious that he's leaving out, since he's introducing himself in this way, he seems to be leaving out a couple of his names.
A lot of his names.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm Delia of the clan Ningle.
The Bakers?
The very same.
Wait, Delia, you bake?
I know my way around a kitchen.
You've never told me you baked. I love pastries.
Excuse our
Pat.
friend. He's had too much hair of the.
I'll pat Tadias on the thigh and be like, "It's okay. I'll show you later."
That sounds good. That sounds really good right now. Yes. Hi. Yeah.
Who are you, drunk man?
Oh, I am Tadias Odinov. Yes, I come from Fourth Stride, and I don't know why we're here. I think you know things. Or something.
And his attention just shifts to, Illyria. Does she introduce herself?
No.
Okay. He looks at Illyria for a second, and then shifts his attention away. He says,
Perhaps I should wait outside with Tadias.
be my guest.
I mean, unless you want to. You know what, Tadias, sit down and we'll go get you something to eat after this.
No, I love eating as well. What? Oh, I see it. Yeah, sit down. I think
our other companion here, her name is Ilaria, so she's going through a rough patch right now, but she's usually very nice, and I'm sure she appreciates being welcomed in your home.
And I am Fredaria Bolsheri Fergasi Tanini Mustala Bugatti Fermini Udas Toshield Shuzad Sniggle Arkangrid.
Do you have a nickname?
You can call me Hum.
Right. I'm not going out into the forest anytime soon, and I'm not sure if you can really pay me to.
There's no price that really suits you.
He says, I've got enough components to last me for quite a while in my experiments. There's not much else I could use from the inner forest.
Well, is there any way that we could convince you to give us directions or make us a map or something?
Directions? Directions to where?
Looking for a tree. Ilaria, what was the name of that tree?
Oh shoot! I'm looking through my notes and I can't seem to find it.
If memory serves the DM, brightleaf tree.
Yeah, we're looking for a bright leaf tree.
Brightleaf tree. Those are pretty far in. They don't They seem to grow better when more surrounded by forest than anything else. The forest blends together most days. Directions.
It's very important we get there.
I'm sure it is.
So Hum decides to turn on her charm, and she says, "Hey, look here, Mr. Bulwarker. We're a group of travelers, and we have no idea about this forest. We've never been there. We've never been in there. But it's very important to Miss Illyria here that we get in and we take her brother to be buried. We hear you're the best man for this job, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to get you to take us there."
Roll persuasion. He says, "Listen, I'll have to think on it." He kind of like softens up a bit because you're a gnome. He says, "I get asked to do this frequently by some of the loggers who see themselves as adventurers. Hasn't ended well before. And that's why I built that contraction out in the why I built that contraction up in the trees just outside of town. But maybe. But let me think on it. I also need to remember where a bright leaf tree is. It's been a while."
We wouldn't ask you if it wasn't so very important.
He shakes his head and he says, "What exactly do you need? Do you need a leaf from it? Because I can get you that."
I look to Illyria and kind of point to him and like gesture, "Can I just tell him?"
It's my brother's wishes, sir. He needs to be buried by the tree.
His expression sort of changes to like a, "Oh, shocked, I see" sort of expression. He says, I can understand that."
If you take on this job, you'll be very protected.
Looks at all of your weaponry. Then he looks to Tadias, narrows his eyes, furrows his brow, and he says, "With him sober, right?"
Absolutely.
He says, he looks very like, he has this look on his face of like, I don't want to go in there again. And he has his arm and he's just rubbing his neck and he's got, he has this sort of, sway going on. He says, "Okay, look, I'll just, if you're in town for a little bit, just come back tomorrow and, I'll have my decision then. I understand how important it is, but I don't want to go back in there personally. But just give me a day."
Is there anything we can bring back for you?
How do you mean?
You say you have everything, but can we bring you something that you may need?
Oh, you mean supplies?
Yes, or something you just want.
He says, "There's nothing here that I don't need, even if it's the..." Nothing, it's nothing.
No, please, sir. Anything.
He looks like there's something there to it, but he doesn't want to talk about it. He says, "Just don't worry about it. Come back tomorrow."
Will you not be going to the show at the tavern tonight?
He says, "That half-elf musician? I don't care for her."
No, it's not just the half elf. It's a competition, we think.
He says, "Listen." You've already convinced me to consider coming with you into the forest, and I might, but I'm not one for loud music in confined spaces.
I'll be playing too, sir.
He says, that's excellent. I wish you luck, but I do not wish to partake.
Well, we'll take our leave then. Thank you for considering this.
Welcome. He kind of grumbles, you're welcome.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Says, I didn't give you much hospitality. I didn't offer you tea or anything. If you come by tomorrow, I'll be less grumpy.
Hum pats his arm and says, you were fine.
He starts to walk more into his living room, and he grumbles to himself and make perception checks. It's very fitting for the gnomes to hear this.
I'm a disadvantage, right?
Yeah, very fitting for the gnomes to hear this. He grumbles to himself, I really wish I hadn't earned that nickname, Grumpy Stones. He just starts walking off, and he turns around and he says, well, go on.
Hum pulls at the other people and says, thank you, sir. We'll be back tomorrow.
And here's his full name in my notes for your viewing enjoyment. So you leave the tower. He shuts the door behind you, bolts it. What do you do now? Actually, I know what we're going to do now. We're going to take 5.
Thank goodness.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Same here.
No,
I think so.
Oh, no.
Wrong.
Oh, okay. Wait, who's not here? Is Senna here?
Yep.
Okay, then I think we're good to go. Miles?
Here.
Yeah? Alright, cool. So, getting back into it. You guys just left the tower, the door shuts behind you. What do you do?
I'm a little worried about this other bard. I see it.
What's up?
Is it possible that her playing skills are magical in nature? And could have undue effects on us and our party?
I was thinking the same thing. I guess we could I could use my counter charm.
I just think it's important for us to be aware of that while we're participating in the festivity.
Keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
I have to say that I agree.
Today, at this point, you're starting to sober up a little bit.
Oh.
No, it's been a while.
What time is it right now?
It is in probably about 2:30ish in the afternoon.
We still got some time to kill. Did you have anything you wanted to do here?
I wouldn't mind stopping by the Wayfield office just to see who's... Maybe get some extra information.
Could be useful. Maybe one of them took a contract out in the woods, know something else.
Or we could take a contract in the war.
If there's one available.
Alright, so you make a hop, skip, and a jump to the Wayshield station here. You enter, and Zachary, you're familiar with this place. It's got sort of an office that has records that end up making their way back to Forstride. And there's a room that is sort of a barracks for Wayshields to spend nights here in. There's a woman with blonde hair sitting at sort of counter. She stands up. Hey, how can I help you? And then she sees Zachariel and she says, "Oh, are you here on a job?"
Well, more like a personal matter for a friend.
She nods.
My name is Zachariel Vitalis. I'm from Forstride.
And then she peers a little closer and she sees the badge and she says, "Zachariel, that's been slaying a whole bunch of monsters. That Zachariel?"
That's me. I guess someone's been talking about me.
Well, word travels pretty fast when we make trips around the Silch Road. She says, and this is she looks she looks like an experienced green. She puts out her hand. She says, "I'm Liv. I'm also from Forstride. I'm just here on my rotation."
Pleasure to meet you. I reach out, clasp her by the forearm.
Yeah.
She do handshakes around.
Yeah, she takes it in stride, looks right in your eyes, gives a very polite smile. She says, "Oh, you're welcome to use the barracks if you want."
Thank you. Is there anyone? How long have you been here?
Says, "I got stationed here 10 days ago. It's up in about 5 days."
Heading back to Forstride.
Yep, as soon as my relief gets here.
Ah. Well, my wife is a green now. You'll probably see her. Is there anyone here from last rotation still? We're looking for information on the forest. We're planning on heading in very deep.
She moves to what looks like a stack of papers. Not a stack of papers. It's got a little bit of a organization to it, filing system. She pulls out a drawer and she starts rifling through it, and she says, "Trips into the forest? Is that what you mean?"
Well, we're going in there, but any information on the forest at all would help.
Well, I mean, the guidelines that Gordon has, the guidelines that come from Gordon are don't foray in there unless the triple fee is satisfied.
The what?
Tripling the normal fee.
Oh, yes. Are there any jobs up for the forest right
now? She rifles through. She puts those away. She grabs a different stack, which are like these requests. And she looks through them and she says, Silch Road, Forstride, Alphon. No. No one's really trying to get into Conadir.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's very popular.
I mean, there's a standing contract for some Wayshield to, for when, she thinks for a second, when the loggers go to a tree farm that hasn't been looked at in a while, they bring a Wayshield with them to make sure if there's any danger, they can get out as safely as they can, but beyond that, nothing really.
Okay. Well, you've been a great help. It's a pleasure to meet you. These are my friends, by the way. How rude of...
She waves at everybody.
Delia waves back.
You,
I nod my
Yes,
head.
just
looking at her, you notice she is wearing studded leather and has swords at her sides and a crossbow slung on her back. Ever ready.
Is it very busy out here?
She
It's
says,
kind of like a snooze post.
no, there's way shields through here all the time. There was one through here yesterday. They're going
Really?
around the Silch Road. And then another one that came from the Silch Road and then started heading down to Athon.
What was the name of the one heading to Af?
She says, let me see. She looks in her notes. She says, it was a merchant, and it was being escorted by Briston and Reth. And you recognize these names as a couple of greens.
Okay, if you don't hear back from them in the allotted amount of time, you may want to send someone to search for them. We've been hearing some rumblings about Afon, but not sure if they're true.
Thank you for telling me that. And she has wide eyes and she kind of pulls out a piece of paper and she starts writing this note down.
Oh, Tadias, the book.
Yes, I pull the book out and hand it to him.
What's this?
Also, be on the lookout for these, and I turn to the pages with the...
Okay. And she starts noting them down. She says, that one looks a little familiar. And
you can be sure anyone with these markings is up to no good.
oh, that's not too good. And she points to that one. And she says, I noticed, they weren't traveling with anybody, but I noticed, a few of these symbols on, armor on these folks that were sort of, it seemed like they're traveling by themselves. They sort of just passed through without really stopping, going south.
Yep, that would line up with the rumblings, I believe. Am I correct?
She, I'll send word to Gordon. Back at HQ.
I believe I've already told Gordon, but send word with him anyway, just in case it may have slipped my mind. We've been very busy.
Sure, no problem.
So when are you expecting your replacement?
5 days from now. The rotation lasts 25 days.
Okay.
Don't worry, eventually you'll be out of being a green, and then you can venture all you want. It's not all it's cracked up to be, though.
She smiles and she says, "Oh, I'm actually not too bad about being in one place for a while, but the road's exciting."
Well, depending on how capable you are with the sword, I don't mean to insult, but I believe Gordon is planning on putting something together, something new. Very
Well, I'll have to ask him about it when I get back.
well. Enjoy the remainder of your days. We'll try not to cause too much trouble in the city.
I'm sure if there's trouble, you'll end up taking care of it. Way shields don't let things lie.
Hum kind of mumbles under their breath, or maybe with the trouble.
What did she mumble under her breath? I didn't hear it. The DM didn't hear it.
Or maybe we are the trouble.
Ah.
Well, we're definitely the trouble.
All right.
Put this symbol away.
What do you do?
No, we've got some time to kill.
Is there a market?
She points down and she says, whoa. She says, well, there's the general store down the way. If you need supplies. There's not much else going on in this town except for logging and all that to do about that musician in the fort.
Oh, we've heard all about her.
Haven't checked her out yet. I hear she's got quite the show.
That's what I hear too, but I'm on duty.
We hear she's quite the attraction. Seems where the people are.
She shrugs and she says, yeah. She doesn't seem to be as one with the town as the other townies you've met so far.
Alright, well, we've pestered you enough. Have a good day.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to give you the key to Tomerer. It's in the handouts folder. So what do you guys do? That seems like there's about 3 hours before sundown.
Alright, we still have some time. Would anyone like to do anything?
Should we go shopping?
Thank you. I was just about to ask for a map.
Shopping sounds like a great idea.
What are you buying?
I don't know. What do they sell?
Well, there is a tailor and seamstress, leather tanner, leather worker. There's a general store.
I think we should see if the seamstress has any flashy outfits.
Acquire as many radishes as possible.
Radishes.
Certainly is a field of radishes in this town.
Huh. I don't know, Delia. It might be nice to dress up for... Want to go check out the tailor?
Are you going to try to dress me like the last time?
Question is, do you want to be dressed like the last?
Absolutely not.
I think there's a part of you that wants it. That's why you asked.
I had
agree.
to wipe off all that mascara for like 2.5 days. It's not happening.
This time we'll use glitter.
Not
Lots
the
and lots
strangest
of
thing
glitter.
you've ever dressed as.
No, it isn't, unfortunately.
Come on, Delia, let's go to the tailor.
I'll loop my arm with Hums.
And then you guys skip in there.
I guess
Absolutely.
I'll go with.
You enter. Does anyone join them, or is it just them?
I'm coming with. I want to see this shenanigans.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I guess I follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow, see what's
Alright.
around.
So you all enter the seamstress and tailor. And inside there is a few racks that are lining the floor that have all sorts of different outfits and clothing on them. Most of it is pretty plain looking, and they all have these price tags on twine, and they all look relatively cheap. It's as if they sort of understand that there's a little bit of a market for plain clothes, but on the walls there's all sorts of flashy garments.
Ooh.
And as you enter and start to browse, a woman calls out, "Hello, if there's anything you want altered before purchase, just let me know. We have a changing room in the back."
Do you have any flashy gnome size outfits?
Well, the only gnome in town is that grumpy old fart in the tower. And he hasn't asked me for any, or bought any clothes from me, so no, I'm sorry, but maybe we can get something altered for you.
How long would it take for an alteration?
Oh dear. Well, that's a tall order because most of this is adult-sized, unless I can alter something that's human child-sized.
Do you have anything? What do you think, Delia?
Tell me, just so that you can be a little creative with your character, tell me what Hum sees and what she wants altered to fit her.
She wants something kind of, she wants something that's kind of, she wants a skirt kind of like a tutu, you know, like a rainbow tutu.
Okay. A tutu.
Yes.
So just a skirt, sort of, with the flurry. That's a tall order, but I might be able to make that happen, and you would just put this on over your trousers, yeah?
No, I'd probably need something.
You want a flashy pair of trousers too?
Absolutely. And, you know, a top.
Sure. What colors are you thinking?
I look over at Delia, kind of lost.
Well, what's your favorite color?
Definitely pink.
I think we should go with that. Delia's looking for anything that is remotely way over the top, like Juicy Couture.
God.
Children?
Yeah, you find something that's more adult-sized, that's like on the sides of the shop, but you don't find anything child-sized that's that flashy.
No sequins? Maybe a tiara?
Oh my god, a tiara. Well, okay, if I were to purchase the adult sizes, would they just be very baggy on Delia, or would there be like stuff showing that Delia would not want to show people?
It'd be very baggy. And there's one V-neck that goes like way down. So it would be more like a robe that is open slightly.
A robe, huh?
Well, or like a vest with extra legs that you would trip on. There's a V-neck dress that's this bright magenta color, but it's adult-sized. And Frida, the tailor, and her companion come out and they say, we might be able to get something for you soon. How soon do you need it?
Well, I'm playing at the fort tonight.
With Lycia?
Yes.
She says, "Oh, are not to presume anything, of course. Are you also a good musician?"
Well, I can't complain.
They both sort of look at each other excitedly, and and she says, "Well, tonight, that's a bit of a tall order, but I think I can manage something. So you wanted a dress, or not a dress, a skirt and a top and a flashy pair of trousers. Human child size," she says with air quotes. Let me look in our back room and see if I can scrounge anything up for you. She goes into the back and she spends about 5 minutes. She comes back and she has a very the DM says gaudy, but Hum can think of it as amazing as she wants. Pink skirt. And she has like a couple of wires in her, like metal wires in her hands, and she just kind of puts them on the table, and she says, "I can put these in the skirt to make them stick out, kind of like what you were describing. Would that work?"
Sure.
I would hide them, of course.
Perfect. It's perfect.
She says, "And the trousers, I have a pair of very light purple child trousers. Would that work too?"
Absolutely.
"And as for the top, it might clash a little bit, but I have something that's a bright yellow."
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
"Okay, I'll get to work on it right away. The total for this project, since it's sort of a rush deal, it would be about 10 gold. Is that okay?"
That is fine. Hum lays down 15.
"Oh my gosh, thank you!" She takes it.
And I want this dress. I want the gaudy, juicy couture dress
Oh my God.
in the adult side.
Do you... I mean, I'll sell it to you, but do you want it... I mean, it'll take a while for me to alter it to your size, but...
No alterations.
Okay. And, that piece is 2 gold.
Is what?
2 gold.
2 gold. Okay. Thank you. And I'll lay down 5 gold.
My gosh. Well, I'll do this one first, she says to Hum, and then I'll get to work... Oh, wait, no, you didn't ask for alterations. I'm sorry, here. And she hands you the... she actually packages it up in parchment and then hands it over to you.
I'll take it and, like, put it under my arm.
She goes into the back, and she... "You're welcome," and she starts... you can hear the sound of a sewing machine going. You know, the kind that you have to press manually with your foot. What do you do
Well,
now?
I'm excited for this.
I don't know. I'm really thinking about the tiara. What do you think, Delia? Should we try to find one?
I think we should.
If you look over there, and she points to the other side of the store, and you see like a big shelf with all kinds of different silly accessories. We have, I think we have something that's like a tiara. It's a crown. It was a project by our smithy, sort of a, well, there's a story behind it, but it is for sale. And this,
How much?
This thing is like a brass crown, and it's got like on further inspection, like you look up at it, and you can tell that these stones in it are just glass, colored glass, but it looks very flashy, and there are all kinds of different colors, stones too. That is about 5 gold.
I will take it.
And you now have an extremely gaudy costume, Mom. Congratulations.
Hey, I didn't make up the colors, you did.
You bought them.
I did.
All right. She takes the gold and she says, "Do you want this? You don't want this wrapped up, do you? Do you just here?
I just put it on my head.
It suits you."
Thank you.
You look gorgeous.
You want to try it on?
Oh my god, yes.
I hand it over to Delia. I take off her normal hat and put it on my head.
And I'll put the gaudy crown tiara on my head.
Oh my gosh, it's so perfect on you.
Especially with the starry robe that she has.
And her curly hair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use minor illusion to make it like sparkle extra brightly.
Nice. So that whole thing took about it took us about a half hour, so it took about a half hour. So you still got about an hour and a half to kill. Do you guys want to do anything specific? Do you just... what do you do?
Does anybody else want to get an outfit? Is there any man sparkle going on in the building?
Man
Dad,
sparkle?
please say yes.
Man sparkle.
I mean,
Not
there's
even in there.
plenty...
I have a feeling I know which person the man sparkle is for.
I mean, there's plenty of outfits that are like trousers and shirts that are probably sort of as tall as Tadias. He's a pretty tall guy, so it's hard to find, but you do find one... and it looks like all of these outfits are sort of just spur of the moment, like, we're going to make these and maybe they'll sell, but we're just going to put them on display anyway for funsies. But you find one outfit that is like... it's a deep purple, and it has these silver threaded stars all around it.
I love it.
No, it has to be on Tadias. Like, the pants are too short, so you can see his ankles.
Absolutely.
And, like, the arms are too short, so, like, they're, like, 3/4.
And as you're
sleeves.
as you're like looking at this thing, a little fabric disc falls out, and then it pops up, and it's a top hat with the same design.
Oh my god. Tadias needs this.
Is he there?
He needs it.
I'm kind of in the corner looking at them, like, grab it, but I'm not sure what they're talking about. I'm too far away to hear that.
Okay.
Zachariah, I don't think that will fit either of them.
Oh, I'm outside.
Ma'am, how much for this?
She says, oh, that one, let me look, that one's about, 6 gold.
We'll take it!
Okay. Do you need alterations?
Oh no, it's perfect just the way it is.
Oh, okay, thank you. And this is, the other, person talking, because in the back they're working on, Hum's outfit.
Hey, Tadias.
What?
I think you should drink more of that elven stuff.
I plan on it. Why do you suggest this all of a sudden? If there's something going on, who is that outfit for?
Well, for you, of course. I need a concierge.
You need a what?
You're going to be my escort.
I didn't know you felt this way about me. You have been very interested in body parts today, but I don't think that thing will fit me.
Oh, it's going to be perfect.
It really will be.
Absolutely.
Why? Is this something bards do?
I get those big eyes, like those big anime eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
Those
That kind
puppy
of
dog
tear up,
eyes.
and I'm like, yep. And I'm like, but Thaddeus, you're my best friend. You have to do this for me.
I swallow a little bit. I'm like, it's a
The Puss in Boots eyes.
it's a shitty town. No one will remember.
My lip quivers a little bit.
Fine! Stop it. Oh, I can handle it.
And
All right. I will try the outfit. I will try. But
I'm gonna high five.
at any point, I ought to get out if I want.
do you change completely? Like, you take off your armor and everything?
Wait, I have to wear it all the way across town?
No.
Okay. I think if we keep it
You can
inside the
change when we
tavern-
get back to inn. It's fine.
We keep it inside the tavern. You tell Zachariel that I lost a bet. Should be fine.
Okay. Do you try it on before you leave?
Hell no.
No. He doesn't get to try it on. We have to wait till he gets to the inn and we're getting ready.
Okay. All right. So what do you do now?
We should probably have a meal before.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. So you guys make your way back to the inn, and
Oh, before we leave,
mhm.
I ask her really quickly, is it possible for you to deliver that to the inn when it's ready?
To the fort. I mean, we're
I'll
going.
give you an extra 5 gold.
No, don't worry about it. We're gonna be there tonight.
Awesome.
So, you guys make your way back to the inn, and where's Zachariel doing all this?
He's outside waiting for them.
Okay.
He doesn't like dress shopping. He has to do it too often.
All right. So you guys leave. You see Zachariel leaning on the wall or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Did you get everything you needed?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we did.
Let's say, suspicious laugh.
Me do something suspicious? Never.
Alright.
Loops Delia's arm and just starts skipping again.
You know, we can also make use of those chains we made for Tobias.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good lord. All right. So where are you guys going?
To drink as much as possible.
Okie doke. So you guys head back to the fort. There's a couple of patrons in there now. But not really anything else. Light is coming in from the windows, and Condrit sees you come back in, and he says, "Oh, well, welcome back." He says, "Still a little bit early, but have a seat, maybe a drink."
Could we get some food, perhaps?
Absolutely. He says, he shouts into, he walks behind the bar, and you see there's a door behind the bar, and he opens it, and he shouts in, or actually he opens it up, he looks back, and he says, "How many plates?"
One for me, at least.
I'll have one.
Says, We're having tonight. What we have right now is some roasted chicken with peas and red onions.
Sounds delicious.
Perfect.
I was really hoping for pork, but I guess I could settle for chicken.
I wouldn't mind pork either.
Shouts into the kitchen. 5 plates. And then closes the door and then opens it again. Thanks.
I wouldn't mind more of the elven brew, if you wouldn't mind.
He says, alright.
You caught me when I didn't eat anything. It was just early, and that's all.
If you say so. That's gonna be, I don't remember how much I asked for initially. The DM doesn't remember.
I paid
one gold for one gold.
All the first.
Oh, that's right. It's 5 silver for a thing of it because it's so expensive. He says 5 silver for a shot of it.
You're done. And
he pours you a thing and he lets it slide down the bar toward you.
I pick it up. I look at Hum's bag of things that she's kind of holding around, and I throw it back.
And Tobias, you're starting the night off.
We have nowhere to be but here.
I guess you're right, yes.
And I've made a few mistakes recently that I had to pay for, so they're easier to deal with this.
Oh, mistakes.
I got him something to wear.
I lost a bet.
Wait, you guys had a bet without me being involved?
You didn't come into the shop?
Hmm.
We've been losing a lot of bets, races, all sorts of things.
Well, perhaps you should just work harder at being...
Say that again,
I'll
you cut out.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, I said, well, perhaps you should work harder at being better.
Ah.
Yes, I really should try that.
So
what do you have to do? Do you have to streak across the stage during the show, or are you dancing?
If only, I'd probably be less embarrassed.
A door opens from further down the room, and it's a person who's wearing an apron, and he has a tray, says, "Food's up," puts it on the end of the bar, and Condred walks over, grabs the tray, brings it over. There you are. That's 2 silver a plate, so 5 of you, 2 gold. Wait. Is his math right? No. 1 gold.
No.
I'll give him 2 gold.
Oh. Still great customers. Puts it underneath the bar.
And then Delia digs in. She's just so hungry from shopping so much.
And it's delicious.
Hum chows it down really quickly.
So do you guys just hang out in the fort for the next couple of hours? Is there anything else you want to do, or do you just hang out here?
Should we make Tobias try on the outfit?
I think we want to wait until it's almost time so he can't change his mind.
Good idea.
So, you guys hang out in at the bar, probably at a table. Let me bring you there now. Let me grab your tokens. So, by the way, the DM forgot about Valora. Does she go inside with you?
No.
Where is she?
Just outside the door.
Is she just like laying down next to the door? Or what do you have her do?
Yeah, just laying there.
Okay.
But I was gonna pick up my plate of food after throwing like a gold piece down, taking the food to Valora, letting her eat it.
Okay.
And then I think she's gonna go to the shrine.
All right. So we can resolve that. So Illyria goes to the multi-purpose shrine. She finds out as she enters the place. There is a gentleman there who is wearing simple clothes, and he looks like he's just sweeping up. And there's a simple altar, and there's a bookshelf with some varying holy texts sampled from different religions that Illyria is familiar with. He calls out to her and says, "Hi there, how can I help you?"
Oh, I'm just here to...
Pray?
Yeah.
He gestures to the altar. You see some cushions laid out. He says, by all means, I'll be sure not to bother you.
Is there anybody else in here?
Nope. It's still
Okay.
early afternoon, or getting into late afternoon by now.
Okay, she goes to the cushion and prays.
Okay. So back at the bar, the hours pass, and it starts to darken, and torches are lit inside the bar, and they're actually like sort of chandeliers that are lofted up, and you look up at the ceiling and you can see Condrit. He has like a really long stick with a torch on it, and he starts lighting them. People eventually start filing in. How long does Illyria stay at the shrine, by the way?
Sorry?
How long does Illyria stay at the shrine?
I don't know. How long do most people stay at shrine?
That's 100% up to you.
I think for the evening she'll stay there.
She's not going to participate?
No.
Okay. Where is Valora? I guess she's taking her with her?
Yeah, she's just outside the door of the shrine.
Okie dokie. Alright, give me a moment. Alright. So let me bring you there to give you an idea of this place. So you can see the stage, the what? Oh, hold on. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Curtain is there's the curtain. Okay. So yeah, there's the stage, there's the bar. There are some people in here. People start filing in from doing their work in the day, and the place starts filling up. Let me change the music. Alright. So yeah.
Do I not get to see them?
Huh? Oh, I mean, Valora was the camera. Hold on, let me... Wait. Alright, can you see now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Okay, so there is a wall that sort of is up against the stage here. So it's down like that. And there's a door that for some reason is on the GM layer and shouldn't be. And so what is... Give me an idea of like where you guys are in the bar.
Let's... I mean, I'm drinking, so I guess I'll be next to Delia, right over here.
Okay. Hum, what are you doing?
I have ordered a milk stout and am nursing it right now, waiting for my outfit to show up.
All right. So more and more people start to come in and fill in seats. And eventually, the tailor shows up, and she's got a package for you. She sees you right as she enters. The doors are not as visible as I'd like them to be, but give me a moment. Doors are right here. That orange. Enters through there, sees you, and walks over and says, "Did you introduce yourselves to them?"
No, we just kind of asked about it.
Oh! She walks over, taps your shoulder. Miss Gnome?
Hi! You have something for me, do you?
I do! And she passes you a package with garments in it. You can tell by the weight and how it feels.
Oh, thank you so much. I just can't wait to show it off.
She grins and she goes takes a seat.
Delia, Tadias, we need to go change.
I'm so excited. It's time.
I also am pretty excited.
Alright, so Hum, right as you go to the hatch, you pull it up to go down. Coming out from the hatch, just sort of like walking up these spiral stairs, with a veil in her hand, is a half-elven woman. She gets to the top, looks around, looks at you. Her head, actually, she's tall. Her head comes up to Zachariel's chin. It looks like she has raven hair and deep orange eyes. She's wearing a costume of leather armor, dark with stylized metal rivets reinforcing it, each delicately painted a fiery red. People turn and they see her, and they all cheer, and you hear, "Hey!" And she looks down at you, Hum, and she says, "Oh, hello there."
Well, hi.
Let me bring her token to the... She says, "Oh, excuse me, I need to get backstage and get ready." And wait a minute, are you the gnome bard I've heard about?
I do believe I am.
She says, I've agreed to a bit of a competition with you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you've agreed.
Do you feel confident?
More than most.
She says, well, I sure hope so. Hopefully you can overcome your stature. And as she says that, she looks down and she looks at out of the corner of your eye, Tadias, since you're walking with Hum, or not at the corner of your eye, but you see for just a brief moment she looks at her hand as she says this, and Hum, you feel a little hurt by this. Like, normally you'd be able to shake something like this off, but you feel a little bit like, ugh, from it.
Is there
Delia gives her a stank eye.
Is there some kind of check I can make to see if there was magic involved?
Well, you look at her hand and you can see a ring. A silver ring. But you can go ahead and make an Arcana check if you want. Arcana.
Arcana.
I
don't think that's it.
It looks... nothing really draws out... Or nothing really jumps out at you. And she starts making her way to this door here.
Hum says to her, don't trip on your ego on the way.
She looks back and she says, no, I don't think I'll be tripping at all. This night I never do. And she opens the door and enters backstage.
Well, I don't like her.
Oh, hopefully my playing will be good tonight.
It always is.
More and more people start to file in.
Let's get in our outfits. But just in case, let's make sure we have some kind of weapon with us.
Alright, so you guys go down to where your room is down there. And you do your thing and change.
Delia's wearing the dress as is. With like a shirt.
So like
shirt underneath.
But like, okay, so like your feet are inside the pants.
Yeah, I'm gonna like tie them up. So
okay.
that I can at least walk.
So
like,
alright.
Extra crazy.
It's like I'm not even sure how to describe it. You've got like you've got basically like bags for pant legs.
I love it.
Alright.
You look beautiful, Delia.
It looks fancy. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm looking down at my purple package right here. I'm like,
Hum puts on her outfit that's loud and pink and purple and yellow, and she twirls for Delia. What do you think?
I love it.
Alright.
I begin trying to put on a shirt that probably doesn't fit me.
So, are you going to... Questions. Are you guys, those of you wearing armor, are you doffing to put these outfits on, or are they going over?
Well, I have to doff.
Okay.
I might be wearing the leather gloves afterwards, though, in case these things really are as high as I think they're going to end up on me.
Okie doke.
But I get the shirt and at least the pants on. Where are we at right now with those? Can I breathe?
Yeah, you can breathe. It's very tight, but you can breathe.
It shows off your rippling muscles.
Absolutely, you look handsome. And I pop the top hat for him.
This is probably my favorite part of it, but even that, I don't have shoes to go with this.
Oh, where are your boots?
Just my boots and my gloves make it look like I am not wearing someone, it's prom outfit.
Make sure you put Rezier on.
All right. I guess I could wear my belt as well.
Hum slips her dagger in her between the skirt and the trousers.
I'm gonna put all my stuff there, but I'm gonna hide one of my daggers under my hat.
What about Rezier? Is it on your
That's
belt?
gonna be, yeah.
Okay.
I just wear the normal, wind belt.
I mean, it is kind of flashy. So
That's the kind of the point. It kind of goes with it.
all right.
Delia's just carrying her staff with her.
Alright. So you guys head back up, and
While they're downstairs, can I just scan the crowd to see if I see any, markings?
Scanning
cultish variety.
Scanning the crowd, make a perception check.
Yeesh.
So seeing some familiar faces from around town, the seamstress, although you haven't really seen them before, but the seamstress and that's the guard from earlier in the morning, and other faces you've seen about town. You don't really catch eye of any of those cult symbols. And you, Delia, and Tadias come up, and Zachariel, you see Tadias wearing that gaudy outfit.
Oh my god, we forgot the chains.
What chains?
Delia will run back down and get the chains.
There is never no chains.
So to refresh your memory, Zachariel, or Justin, Tadias comes up wearing this shirt and trousers that is this deep purple and has silver threaded embroidered stars all over it, with a top hat of the same sort of design.
Tadias, something different about you tonight.
What makes you think that? Is I kind of pull the top hat just slightly down to cover my face?
I feel like someone should draw this image of you and send it to...
You hear somebody from across the room go, "Hey, is he the jester tonight?" And a few people laugh around him.
What does the person look like that just said that?
Person is a man. He looks like he's a laborer. He looks like he's probably one of the loggers, and he's surrounded by a bunch of other similarly figured men.
I pull out one of my daggers and just twist it in my hand. I say, "I'm a knife thrower. You want me to practice with you?"
Yeah. Roll a intimidation check.
I have a -1 on that. Perfect. Let's do it.
He backs down a little bit and he says, "No way, man. I'm not putting an apple on my head for you."
I wasn't going to put it on your head. I was going to put it between your legs. But either way, sit down.
He was already sitting back down, and you feel a hand on your shoulder, Tadias, and Barkeep, Conjured, says, "Can you not twirl that around too much? Do me a favor."
Sure.
And go ahead and keep it on your belt. It's nice, but
I just kind of drop it on the ground and it kind of falls right back into my belt.
Whoa, flashy. He
Might
says,
as well. I already have the outfit.
"If you're going to be around longer, maybe we can have you perform as well."
Not my thing. But either way.
He shrugs. Where do you... He looks at... Oh, sorry, what?
Excuse me, Starman.
Yes. Is this my title now?
I don't know, I'm just trying things out.
Alright.
You take a look around. Do you notice anything?
I take a look around the room. Do I see anything?
Roll perception.
Ba-da-bow!
Oof. So, looking around, you just see couple familiar faces. The guard, like I said, for Zachariel, and other than that, nothing of note.
Looks like the usual drunken crowd.
I'm hearing Zachariel say this. Takes a look around the room too.
Everybody dogpiles the checks. Go ahead and roll.
Dogpile the check.
It is fair in fiction, though. Go ahead and roll. So, looking around, people are in there, starting to get excited. People are in their cups, having a good time talking, excited for this show. One table, like, you just see little details of people, like, just chatting in certain gestures, but nothing really strikes home. She's been in, many different taverns. This isn't really any different. She doesn't see anybody who seems to be here for nefarious purposes, nor does she see any of the iconography of cultists.
What are you looking for, Zachariel?
Oh, just being cautious.
Okay. Hum starts strolling towards the stage. Or she leans over to the barkeep and she says, how are we going to do this?
Says, well, if there's anything you need to do, well, it looks like you're dressed up, you can just head backstage and then we'll give you a cue.
Okay.
I think Lycia is probably going to MC mostly.
Okay. I grab Tadias' hand and I drag him backstage with me.
Alright, so you guys approach the door, and you find that it is indeed open. Let me dynamic lighting this. So,
If
you guys can move over again.
So, what am I doing with this chauffeur? Concierge? Wait, what am I?
You're my escort.
Escort? Yeah, that's why I forgot that word. What do I do?
You're basically going to be here so I won't kill the bitch.
I can do that.
You see...
Does this mean I get to kill the bitch if in case something goes wrong?
Exactly.
Alright, you'll do fine.
Alright, so, you guys enter backstage. Tadias, are you going to be there too? You have to move
yeah, I have to be on the thing, so...
Right. So, she looks over and she looks both of you up and down, and she says, "Boy, you have some taste." You can see her
Talking to me.
I'm talking to both of you. What interesting outfits.
Well, one of us has to dress up for the show.
I see.
I like yours, I mean. You don't need candles if you're around, right?
Ha, good one. No, I can produce my own light. And you watch as...
Well, so can I. And I'm gonna cast light on myself, and hopefully the stars reflect everything.
She says, "Flashy. I too can produce my own light." Give me a second.
Oh, did she actually glow?
No.
She cast Meteor Storm.
Oh, she cast Meteor Storm. Campaign over. Oh. What? There it is. Need to... Yeah, so, you see, she forms a little bit of fire on her hand. And you can recognize this as something that Zachariel's done, produce flame.
I guess we'll have to trade notes later. But, break a leg.
Or two.
She narrows her eyes at you, Hum, and she says, "Thank you." And she goes out, and she steps up to the stage, and there's just all this applause for her, people clapping, ah! They're going nuts for her as she walks on stage. She says, "Hello, citizens of Tomerer. Tonight you have a special treat." She says, I am going to, of course, entertain you tonight, but it won't only be me. There's a little competition. You see, a colleague of mine is in town, another bard, by the name..." She pauses for a second. "Hum? Yes, that's it. And she and I are going to be competing. Perhaps she can woo you away from my charms." And the whole crowd just laughs at that. Just totally following her. Are you guys, so just...
Would I pick up on that when she says charm? Like, does she say it in a weird way?
She says it in a way, but, I mean, if you want... Delia is as intrigued by that phrase as Cinna is. By the way, is Hum and Tadias, what are you guys doing? Are you watching her from back there? Because there's sort of a curtain in the way. You'd have to, like, kind of be up by the stage.
I kind of want to give her like a pep talk before she goes on, and then probably hop back into the front of the stage, like right over here to watch.
Okay. She says, "Now, I don't want to have the entire show to myself. I can't just come up and introduce us and then me play. So, everyone, I would like to give you I would like you to give a polite round of applause for Hum." And people are clapping. You know, they're not like boo or anything. They are genuinely clapping. And she peeks from behind the curtain and she says, "Whenever you're ready." And then she looks back down.
I can't get on stage.
Oh, that's a dynamic lighting thing. Let me just get rid of it.
I'm there.
Yeah, you could just get around. Okay. Did you say pep talk, or did I just do anything, or?
It's all good. She can get it.
All right. So everyone is watching Hum, and they all are politely watching her. What does she do?
Hum comes on stage and she says, "Thank you for your applause. Thank you to Lucia for allowing me to come up here and entertain you for a little while." And she starts playing.
All right. I need you to roll 3 performance checks. And for every performance check, I want you to describe what the music is like. I will trust you to be accurate to the number. Hell yeah.
Her first song is a light, cheery song about her adventure to Rolid and the races that we had for the fish market and sailing the seas.
The crowd is very into this, and they start picking up on the beat and singing along with like the melody that she produces. And when she concludes that song, they're just clapping. A few minutes have passed during that piece. Roll another check. Killing it still. And you don't have to be like... You can just describe like how good it is too, if you're running on empty.
Well, her next tune is a tune about Zachriel, the Shovel Knight, and his adventures in saving his wife. It's not lighthearted. It's more like a dirge.
All right, and I mean they're hanging on too. Like these people have been entertained thoroughly for several 10 days now, and not several 10 days, but several days now, and they're not disappointed by your performance. they seem very in tune with the emotional weight you're putting behind your music, and some people, like, you know, they're staring intently. Some of you see glassy eyes as some people are starting to get emotional from this tale, and the crowd is still pretty much on your side. Give me one more. Damn. Bring it home.
So she pulls out her pan flute, and instead of singing, she just plays a beautiful melody that reminds her of Illyria and Valora and the wood.
Aw. Well, the camera cuts to Illyria deep in her meditation, sort of, and she can hear the sounds of cheers and clapping from the fort a few yards away.
She smiles.
So,
Yes.
Lycia comes up on stage and she says, "Give it up for Hum, everyone!" And they all clap and cheer. And she says, "Well, I seem to have a lot to live up to. I'm surprised."
My music makes up for my stature.
She smiles, but Hum, you can detect a sort of sneer underneath that smile. And she says, "Well, I believe it's my turn if you want to."
Absolutely. I turn it over to you people. I turn it over to Lycia now. Let's give her a cheer.
The crowd goes bonkers for this. And they, like, a little bit louder than for you. And they seem very jazzed by this. So she gets to the middle of the stage.
Ooh.
Delia boos too.
So, actually... So,
Sneakily.
Like under your breathily?
Oh, I don't do that at all. I just boo.
So a few people look back at you, and you get like weirded out looks, and then you get glares.
I light up fire on my hand.
And then, sort of drawing their attention away from you, you hear a loud chord on her viol. I'm gonna start changing the music. Her performance.
I know that I is, and did I do okay?
It's wonderful. Best I've seen. Almost worth making me wear this tacky-ass outfit. Almost.
I hug his leg.
The audience.
Pat her on the back.
Oh, sorry.
No, just pat her on the back saying good job.
The audience gives a cheer as she begins to play. Then silences themselves, all watching with intensity. The strings reverberate in the air, and even the wooden tables, chairs, and floors seem to sway with the beat. The melody is striking and fierce, and despite your best efforts, your heart rates quicken. Looking around, you see a barmaid, a tray full of steins, standing stock still, watching her. She begins to dance as she plays, and you can see around where the bow hits the strings, and her fingers make the notes. Mellow flames begin to form.
I lean over to Darius and tell him, "Go get your armor on."
Her movements show a precision that has been nurtured with what seems like to Hum years and years of practice. Her hair flips around as she sways and twirls about the stage. Her bowing, where'd it go? Her bowing growing more and more violent, taking on a fervent energy. Tadias, you went underneath the thing, right?
Yeah, I can't go underneath it, but I got to the door and started heading downstairs.
Okay, you start hanging downstairs. And then, as you close the door behind you, Lycia grins and plays a horrific-sounding chord. Fire bleeds from the veil and coalesces beside her into 4 distinct shapes on the stage, taking on the appearance of ghastly hounds. With massive jaws and barrel chests, fire drips from their mouths, and they all give a mighty bark, and a mix of screams and praise comes from the crowd. But then the hounds jump onto the tables. Just as Lycia lobs 3 motes of fire at the wall behind at the wall where the doors are, and erupts in flame. What do you do? Because we're gonna roll initiative in a second here.
Hum throws Thunderwave at her.
From there?
Well, where should she be?
I mean, you're off. She's in the middle of the stage. You're like off the stage. I'm just saying because Thunderwave is a 15-foot cube.
She runs up to the stage. And
okay, so
throws
roll initiative. No, Kyle's not there.
Hey!
Doing it.
Hum's rolling like a rock star tonight.
Alright, give me a snap. What's going on?
I think that's my first good one.
Okay. Oops. So Illyria's not there.
Well, I was gonna say, because she heard Hum's performance, I was gonna be on my way back to
Sure, I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that. And as you approach, let me get your token there, and then you can roll initiative, and then I'll figure out how you show up. I'm gonna need you to be there. Okay. So you can go ahead and roll initiative. Let me. Valora's gonna be like, they're there, but they're not there. Let me roll.
I was gonna say, if nothing, she would hear Thunderwave go off.
Yeah, she certainly would. Give me a second. Oh, dang it. I have you guys on twice, but it's from a different page. Maybe. Okay, I think I have it taken care of. Okay. Yeah. And then... Oh. Yes, and then the hounded dudes. No. Alright. Whoa, look at those initiatives. Whew. You go first, though. Congrats. Alright. So you rush on stage. You rush on stage, and she looks at you with this wicked grin. What do you do?
I throw my Thunderwave at her.
Alright. Con save for her. That's a 9. So she goes sprawling out over here. Taking that 22 thunder damage. Boom! Oh wait, she doesn't have 22 HP. She lost 22 HP. So, loud cracking noise that Illyria hears. So, she knows something's up as she's running toward the place. So, I'm going to say it'll take Illyria a couple of 2 rounds to get here.
Okay.
From where you are. Okay. So, Hellhound is... Oh, I should roll initiative for the populace. I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm just gonna do a straight d20 roll. Oh, good for them. So they're gonna go after her as all this mayhem starts. It's almost 9. How long can you guys go? This whole scene might take a while.
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good to keep
Let's
going.
do it.
Alright. Alright. Hellhound. Okay. So, the Hellhound roars at the populace and opens its mouth and just breathes this cone of fire. Oops. Around here. And the tables and the chairs light up along with the people who scream and start to scramble. Individuals are just like, their clothes are on fire and their persons are on fire, and they start, I'm going to mark them with paint. And they start, that shouldn't be there. They start scrambling around. This one turns around, sees Hum do her thing, and jumps onto the stage and breathes fire at her. Hum, I need you to roll a dex save. Oh no. Alright, you take 21 fire damage. And the stage underneath you lights up. It's Tadias' turn.
Alright, I'm gonna run through the crowd. About 10. I'll say the rough terrain and get like right into here, pushing it away.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm just gonna try to stab right into this one right here.
Alright, go for it.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
That's a hit.
Pow.
10 piercing. Okay.
Stab him again. It's right next to him. I can use res here again.
That is a hit. 9 piercing.
And because I hit twice, I'm gonna exploit that opening and stab him one more time.
Heck yeah, that's a hit.
And I get to add my die and turn off that alarm. Alright. Turn is over. You guys get it.
9, okay, 15. Zachariel starts poking dire wounds into this thing, and it cries out.
Where's that fucking phone?
I'm gonna mute you real quick
My
here.
alarm to pick off.
That's why I asked if everyone was cool to play, because I know that he has to... Anyway, so Lycia stands up, looks at Hum, and she moves her hand up, and she moves her hand up to her face, and she looks down at it for just a second. Hum looks at you, and she says, "See ya, half pint. I need you to roll a whiz save." All right, you take that much psychic damage, and you have disadvantage on your next attack roll. And then she smiles with her grin and disappears. And if you want, you can use a
Fire, bitch!
And if you want, you can take your reaction to try to tell what just happened. It'll be an Arcana
What I
check.
roll for that?
It'll be an Arcana check. Alright, so that was good enough to recognize that she cast a spell that Hum, you've heard tales of. This spell is called Dimension Door. But she also cast Vicious Mockery. Extremely quickly. You aren't exactly sure how. The townsfolk are going fucking nuts, and they are starting to scramble around. But Zachariel, from behind you, you hear Condrit call out. He looks to the side, and you can see like the wall starting to erupt in flame. and he says, "Get to the bottom! Get to the under!" And the crowd starts moving, just sort of coalescing and pushing each other, and clearly this hasn't ever happened before. And people are falling over each other. The people that are on fire are not stop, dropping, and rolling, but running around like crazed lunatics. So that whole chaos is going on. This hellhound sort of sees all of that happen and jumps from table to table over to where Tadias is, and sort of at the very end of it, blasts near him with all these people sort of floundering about fire, and I need Tadias to roll a dex save.
Okay. Dex save. I fail.
You take 16 fire damage.
That is an ouchie.
You watch as the one that you've just been hurting, the fire just washes over them, and they're completely unharmed by it. Illyria, you are making your way there. The hellhound that Tadias...
On my way... Can I ask, on my way there,
yeah?
Do I see, like, the fire?
Yeah, you see the glowing flames behind the palisade that the fort is in.
Okay, do I see, like, other people outside?
It is dark. It is dark. You have dark vision, but it is dark. Roll perception. From where you are, you don't see... well, actually, you do see some people, because you're running by the butcher, which you've come to realize as you pass it going to the fort is just, like, a person who works with meat. They're standing outside looking at the fort and going, "Oh shit." But that's all you can see.
I was gonna yell, like, "Looks like the tavern's on fire! Go get help! Go get water!" You know?
Yeah. Yeah! And he starts running toward the well in that area where you saw before. As you're making your way there, Valora right at your side. Okay. This hellhound is going to breathe on Tadias.
What? No way. I thought he wanted to hug.
Make a, oof. Alright. Well, you take 19 fire damage. And that's all he can do. Delia.
Okay, I'm gonna run...
So,
over here.
By the way, all of the people now are rough terrain, for sure. Just letting you know. You go over there, and then?
And then I'm gonna cast Shatter. Right here.
Shatter is a, let me get the...
10-foot radius.
Let me get the templates. Oops. That definitely needs to be minimized. And that needs to be minimized? Okay. You said 10 foot?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, where's it going? Oops. Like, oh yeah, you can shield hum, that's right.
Yep, and Tadias.
And that one other person who's sitting there, so yeah, you can definitely do that. So you get those two guys. So they make con saves. Okay. Oh, that's a sad higher level cast. Alright, so the one that saves is the one who is on his last legs, but he only takes 9. But he's very weak. The other one does not save, takes... I'm gonna get rid of that. Takes the full 19. And people are, like, screaming more because of the loud "ee" that you're causing. Anything else?
And then I'll tap my staff on the ground and do Blade Ward.
Alright. Zachriel.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Okay, so I'm gonna run up over here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw one javelin at disadvantage at the one near.
At the one where?
17.
That is hit.
Alright, needs to make me a saving throw for goading. I believe it's wisdom.
For goading, wisdom. He fails.
Alright.
So
he
that
takes 13 damage.
Alright, cool.
And for my other attack, I will throw us. I'll make another pot at this fire one.
Alright. That is a hit.
And make me a saving throw.
Make you a saving throw. What kind?
Wisdom. Another goading attack. Trying to draw
Fails.
them off the civilian.
Yeah, fails. Turns to you. Another 5 damage.
So he takes 14.
Alright.
And that's it for me.
This fire is not fiery enough. There it is. There we go. Fire! Okay. Hum.
Hum only has her dagger with her, so she throws it at the one on the stage.
She does have her spells.
Yeah.
Do what thou wilt.
You know what? Since he's on stage, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a thunder wave at him.
Alright. You can certainly get him from where you are. Con save. Oh, he fails. Roll the damage. Ooh. You knock him off the stage. Prone bone. You know, probably like here. Yeah, that's good enough. Underneath the table. Anything else?
That's it.
Alright. This hellhound here jumps off that table and starts running towards Zachariel. I need to measure out now. Oh. They're fast! Okay, cool. So he runs towards Zachariel past Tadias.
Alright, I guess I'll...
Up to you, my dude.
Yeah, I'll reaction to stab him.
Alright.
Let's go for it. Blah.
That's a hit. 8 damage. And I need to roll d6. Alright, so he's going to attempt to bite you. Zachariel. 12 to hit.
Okay. Miss.
Alright, that's all I can do. Did you... Oh no, that's the one that you knocked down. Alright, so stands up and climbs up here. Oops. And I need to roll a... By the way, the stage is now on fire. So, it's getting pretty hot for you, Hum. But he just walks through it like it's nothing, although that's all of his movement because he had to stand and climb. And then I need to roll d6. Doesn't recharge. So, dashes up to you, actually gets behind you, Hum. And that's all. Tadias.
Let's see. There's one in front of me, so I'm gonna stab. So just...
That's a hit. That's a kill.
Got it. Are these people are still in position where they are?
So, I mean, it's initiative, so it's bullet time, essentially. They're running and scrambling over each other.
Gotcha.
And the fire's starting to spread pretty quickly.
Probably best if I try to hold this one down so they don't get, like, followed.
Alright.
So I'll just stab him as well.
That's a hit.
And let's exploit stuff, because I'm hitting.
Do you have to hit the same target twice?
Ooh, let me take a look.
I think you have to hit the same target twice.
Let's see. It's one or the other, right? It can't be anything else. Level 6, exploit the opening. Same target, so nah, I can't do that.
Alright.
But what I can do is I can bonus action dash and kind of just get into this spot to cut him off.
Alright. So you're on the table now. Person
essentially.
is like scrambling. So I'm gonna assume you're like laying on the table to get between him.
Yeah, I kind of kick my left leg up and I just kind of cut him off and I hold the dagger right to his throat.
Alright. The people in here are still sort of clambering around. The hatch gets pulled open, and they start to go underneath. Need to just pull these people around. These people. You can see out of the corner of your eye. There's 3 of them. I'm just gonna pick random tokens. They are not moving, and they're on fire. And that is more people are coming out from the kitchen, and just all of this people moving, super chaotic, and that's their turn essentially. All right, this hellhound that you just stabbed, Tadias, is going to try to recharge. Recharges his fire breath.
That's no bueno.
No, it's not. Make a dex save. Ooh. You take 25 fire damage, and the people behind you also take this damage. I'm just marking them. Alright. And they're starting screaming in agony as they're lit up. Illyria, you are just about, or you're past the palisade now, and you can see the walls of the fort alight with flame. But the doors.
Okay, again. Oh, I was gonna say, do I see more people gonna help out, or?
I mean, everyone's here. So, like, a lot of people are here. So there's like nobody outside right now. So you'll end your turn, like just about entering the place, and then the next round you'll be in.
Okay.
That hellhound is dead. Delia.
So, seeing that the stage is on fire, I'm going to cast Snylock Snowball Storm.
Hell yeah.
On top of Hum.
What's the area?
5-foot radius.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm gonna carve her out because it's a evocation.
Oh, so we're gonna do this here because you can do corners. Okay. So what does that spell?
Actually, I'll just do it on the Hellhound.
Okay.
Totally thought it meant 10-foot radius. Like
5 foot is like in corner to corner, so it would pick up like 4 squares. But yeah.
Oh, 5-foot radius, so that means it's a 10-foot diameter, right?
Yes. 5 foot. Oh, I'm sorry. 5 foot radius. I hit 5 foot circle. There we go. So are you doing something like this, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me the macro so I know what to roll. Dex. Alright, it fails. And the snow pelts it, and it is dead as it quenches its fire.
Sweet.
Anything else?
End of my turn.
Zachriel.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to knock this pooch prone.
Alright. Ooh, you have a tough one to hit. You do not knock him prone. It just sort of bites your shield.
Beat him with a shovel.
Alright. That's a hit. Solid 12 damage.
There you go.
That's a hit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You
Buck's coming around.
describe killing.
I guess I kind of like smack it with the first one, and it kind of like cracks the jaw a little bit. And then with the second one, I turn the shovel on its edge and just split its skull right down to its snout.
Nice. Go ahead and add some concordance. Actually, we're gonna have to deal with concordance later because there's a lot of innocents you're protecting.
Okay.
You feel a refreshing breeze as the hellhound next to you dies.
Okay, I'm gonna run off this stage here.
Okay, which way do you go?
The fire Is the fire out right in front of me, or is it still burning?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it quenches that fire for a little bit. Certainly.
Oh,
Okay, so she runs and she jumps off the stage.
Okay.
And then she's going to throw her dagger at this one in front of her that's attacking Tadias.
It's close enough to stab melee.
Okay, I'll stab it.
Yeah. You unfortunately do not stab it. You tumble a little bit as you're drawing your dagger and kind of miss and hit the table.
hey, I actually wasn't done my turn.
Oh, you weren't? I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Were you just gonna move?
I was going to move an action surge.
Oh, my bad.
This is kind of like a do or die situation.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
You know, these a lot of people. And,
Do it. Go and do it.
Alright. So I'll move over here and I'll action surge and beat up this pup.
Alright. That's a hit. For 12. That is also a hit. Getting that concordance. I like how that action flows a little bit better. So, you jump off the stage and your dagger kind of lands into the table, and then Zachariel runs up and puts down the Hellhound.
Yeah.
Alright. So they're all dead, but there's still this fire going on. So, we're going to leave initiative, and I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. And I want you guys to describe to me how you helped this scenario. There's a bunch of people trying to get out at once. And Illyria, you show up and you see this whole fire going on, and like this chaos of a bunch of people trying to get down this hatch.
Okay, so the door that I'm at, is it on fire?
The walls around it are. So it's very close to being on fire itself. So we'll go around the table while you think. Delia, how do you...
I got it.
What?
Go for it.
Okay.
Good.
Delia, what are you gonna do to try to help the situation?
Well, I've got 2 more second level spell slots and 2 more third level spell slots, so I'm going to use those to cast Snylock Snowball Swarm in strategic places, and then I guess every 6 seconds after that, cast a Ray of Frost where I can.
Okay, so we'll keep that in mind. What is Hum doing?
Hunt's running to the people. She's going to try to help put these people out and use Cure Wounds on them.
Okay. Go ahead and... I feel like this is a roll. So 6 people are burning. So we are going to roll a d6 plus 2, and that's how many people you manage to save before they're like gone. All of them. So describe it for me.
So Hum just runs up to the table and she is like putting people out, just patting them with her hands.
Stop, drop, and roll.
And then, and touches them each, just giving them, a little bit of comfort from the fire.
Okay. And lots of like, and lots of agonized kind of moans, and like the strange, like, because a lot of them haven't ever experienced healing magic, and they're just like, and the fire's still burning, and they start scrambling around. How does Tadias help?
I'm gonna grab a table and chuck it to the door.
Which door?
Isn't there like a door right over here?
Yeah, but yeah. So after Illyria leaves that door and does whatever she does, it's open.
Oh, it's open. Why are people going downstairs? Let's see. I don't know if I have anything.
I mean, you can tell them to do otherwise. Literally, it's because the walls are on fire, so the barkeep just kind of said that. So You have a prerogative.
I guess I will move over, flip open the flap, and yell to everyone downstairs, "Doors are open, head outside."
And some people are still going down, sort of like lost, but some people are starting to head out the door to make the evacuation a little bit quicker. Okay. What does Hum do? Hum already had her turn. What does Illyria do?
Just trying to get everybody's attention. This way, in order. Don't panic.
Okay. So the don't panic part. Actually, Tadias, I need you to roll me a charisma check.
Oh, well, that was a mistake.
So it's not that effective. Some people are still going down the stairs and they're like not really getting grabbed by what you're yelling out. Same for you, Illyria. You need to make a charisma check. Or persuasion, if you're trained.
Anybody?
Illyria? Next, are you there?
Persuasion, you said. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or charisma.
Or charisma.
If you have the proficiency bonus.
No.
Okay, then roll. Okay, so some people are starting to get are getting are responding to you and starting to head toward the door. Zachariel, what do you do to help the situation?
I'm gonna try and aid Delia, and I'm gonna run up to the stage area and use Suni to throw a wall of sand.
Alright, and that actually helps and quenches the fire on the stage. So, what ends up happening is people rush outside, and people are like emptying the place out, and just as it gets just as the walls start to all catch, everyone's out of the bar, and the whole place is just up in flames, and people are starting to sort of almost instinctively make a fire line from the well, and somebody shouts out, "We need more buckets!" And people are this whole chaos is happening, and it takes some time to get the fire out, but at the end result, the hole in the upper level anyway is burnt to a crisp, and as the smoke is sort of wafting up in the night sky, you see Condrit just on his knees looking at his whole livelihood go up in flames.
Oh
And
no.
we will continue next week. That fire bitch.
Stupid fire bitch.
I really considered the silence, but I didn't want people to die.
Silence for what?
She can't teleport out.
Oh. Gotcha. That would have actually been interesting if you did that.
I was considering it, but it felt like way too against what needed to be done first.
You made a tough decision.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll forget about it. We'll get the fire bitch. We'll get her.
I knew she was no good from the time I heard about her.
I mean, she had to burn up the entire stage because you whooped her ass in a duel, so... That's the way I'm gonna think of it in my head.
See
That's
you.
what I was thinking too.
See you next time. I am stopping the stream.
Bye, internet people!